Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. So we're just going to be really focusing on what it is that we're going to be looking out for this week. There hasn't really been too much going on in the markets recently. So it's been a bit depressing, hasn't it?
Yeah. Over the past, sort of 3 days, we haven't really 3-4 days. We haven't really seen much movement in the crypto markets at all. Slight sort of consolidations. All we've really seen towards the downside mainly. But hopefully we
Which, to
can
be
get
fair,
some.
you did call. You called on Friday talking about
Yeah,
how we were very overextended on a lot of the different indicators, and we've just kind of see them come to a bit of a reset.
yeah.
And we'll go into exactly what that looks like technically shortly. But I'm going to kick it off here. I want to show you. So, Bitcoin miner capitulation is due to end amid first difficulty increase since June. A little bit of background, guys, for those of you who don't know. Basically, and it's roughly like 10 minutes or so. AJ, do you know the time as to how long it's supposed to take for a block to be mined?
No. We'll have
No,
to
it's
not
Bitcoin block. I just want to maybe if I can find out the actual
5. I want to say 5
number.
minutes.
Okay, so basically, what the Bitcoin algorithm does is that it becomes more difficult to make sure that you don't just have one supercomputer mining all of the Bitcoin within the space of like 6 months, and then obviously there's no more Bitcoin because it's programmed to take a certain amount of time. Now, if there are loads and loads of networks in the network, it becomes more difficult. How long do you say, AJ?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. So
I thought
it's
it was
around
5
about
minutes
that.
for some reason, but 10 minutes, yeah.
So basically, whenever there's less people mining and people are not interested in Bitcoin, the algorithm becomes very, very easy. So what we're seeing now is that the difficulty is increasing. So this indicates kind of more of the miners actually getting back online. Because we're ultimately mining when the price is going down is not really what people, what miners want. So they begin just focusing on selling their Bitcoin. So seeing this kind of capitulation having already happened and now more people kind of getting on board, this is actually a very, very good sign for Bitcoin itself. So I just wanted to highlight this here. We can have a look through different hash ribbon charts, etc. But the kind of key takeaway is, so since the 7th of June, other new generation mining rigs have likely been plugged in by both public and private mining companies. However, enough old generation machines or inefficient, over-leveraged miners have shut off. That hash rate and difficulty have actually decreased in size. So I think this is a very good thing for Bitcoin, I will say. And obviously, seeing that we're now getting back up to those levels and we're having that first level of difficulty kind of falls in line with where we saw quite a strong bottom at 17.5. Now, we've always said we don't know that it is the bottom for sure, but looking at the motivation from some of these institutions. Now, obviously, we go through this quite often on here. AJ, do you want to just kind of go through, give us a little overview as to what we're seeing here and why it is we might be seeing this?
Yeah, well, what we can see here very clearly, taking a look at Bitcoin at the top, you can see that we have weekly inflows of around 84.8 million, and monthly. That's monthly, if I'm right, isn't it? Monthly.
No, so from last week alone, it was 84.8 million. So the total month of, what was it, July?
July,
that was that 300 mark.
Yeah, 306.3 million. So we can see, lots and lots of inflows into Bitcoin. And this is, just sort of reassuring me that, the bottom could have, been established at that $17,300 because we are seeing so much inflows into Bitcoin. These institutions, they're looking at the price and they're looking at how cheap the price is. And they are, scooping up as much as they can at the lowest possible price they can. You can also see it with Ethereum. We are getting lots of inflows into Ethereum. Not as much in the sort of in the altcoins, as we have seen before, because obviously, these big institutions, they are putting themselves at a lot of risk anyway by buying Bitcoin, and
Mhm.
that is why they are mainly purchasing Bitcoin rather than other altcoins. But seeing all of this inflow is a very bullish sign, and I'm sure you can agree with that as well.
Yeah, and I think we'll have a look at this on the chart, and I'll bring it back up again. But when we actually look at it on a chart, it's not just a case of hey, this is the lowest price, let's buy some Bitcoin. It's do we have confirmation that
Yeah,
we won't see another massive drop? And nobody knows for sure, but institutions will typically only ever get into a position if they feel as though the trend has kind of reversed.
yeah,
They're not like us retail traders who try and time that bottom. There's always people who are like, oh, I only want to buy it when it's the absolute lowest. So these guys typically try to follow the trend. And
yeah,
so, this gives us me anyway, some confidence that they feel as though that trend might have reversed.
yeah,
Which, last week everyone was like short on Bitcoin. Now that's actually reduced. And so we can see kind of more longs and also
yeah.
just holding of Bitcoin. But looking at
And
Ethereum, I know last week it didn't really look too great,
no,
but the derivative trading is now surging as hedge funds begin to speculate on the merge. Now, Cardano did have a delay in its rollout. Ethereum seems to actually, be sticking to the timeline they've given, which I think is a very good thing. That's a lot of
yeah,
confidence in the actual team being able to deliver on what it was that they said that they would ultimately. But you can have a look through here. I've just brought this onto a 3-month timeline, aggregated open interest of Ethereum options. So, and this was something from earlier on today. And we can look further in. So this, as you can see, is kind of that speculation around, okay, well, maybe we've hit that bottom. Okay, now everyone's talking about the merge, everyone's excited. So I think this is where we're going to see, more and more hedge funds get involved and actually try and take advantage of this. Because one thing that, I know some of you guys will mention this quite often, JP Morgan do control quite a lot around the Ethereum ecosystem, which, agree or disagree, I think it brings legitimacy to Ethereum, which is one thing that I
yeah,
think is actually quite good. And you
yeah.
can have a look at this, the spot to futures volume. So basically, a lot more people getting involved in the futures market. So just kind of wanted to drop this in here. Shall we? I'm going to have a look at. Well, I'll just quickly jump onto this. I want to talk about Rose after, just at the very end. Little side
Yeah.
note: me and AJ were talking about it offline. But Facebook's metaverse will misfire, says Vitalik Buterin. So obviously, he's Mr. Ethereum, and like Facebook, they said they were happy to lose like I think it was $2 billion, something like this. If anyone knows, drop it in a comment. But they had their earnings report. Well, actually, they're called Meta now, but they lost around $2 billion just in their metaverse, and it doesn't seem that even Mr. King of Ethereum himself is saying that it's not really going to go anywhere. Don't think any of the existing corporate attempts to internationally create or intentionally, create a metaverse are going anywhere. Now, I mean, fair play. I kind of agree with him. I don't think there is any proper solution yet. AJ, do you think that there will be in the future? Are we seeing Facebook just throw money at something that's not worth it?
For me, right now, it looks that way. Yes, but we'll have to see where the future takes us. I see, I see a lot of attraction for it for gaming, but sort of social side of things, just go and meet someone in person. I mean, yeah, if you've got family that live, on the other side of the world, then I think it'd be quite nice. Maybe sort of gaming with them, playing some, even just playing bowling with them, and
Yeah.
maybe it feels like you're actually with them. But we'll see where it goes. But for me at the moment, all I see is sort of just having a bit of fun in gaming. That's all I see for me.
Well, and see, and that's kind of the thing is like, even the comment to which Vitalik replied, he said, as an ex-intense gamer, I've been struggling for some time to formulate how I think about the metaverse. All the ideas and concepts make sense. Communities are moving to virtual worlds, etc. But I do not believe it will happen in the same way VCs are currently funding. And that's the thing. I think, we're trying to maybe apply let's call it the metaverse to something that already exists. We're
Yeah,
basically saying, oh, well, you've got Facebook chat, so why don't you just chat in the metaverse? It's like, well, I don't think that's enough of a jump for people to be like, oh, that's radical, I need to give that a go. you know
yeah.
like and that I think might be some of the issues that we're seeing there. But I'm going to wrap up my little segment there, and we can jump onto your screen.
Yeah. If we take a quick look at the charts, as we said at the start, nothing too exciting has been happening. Sort of with the crypto market, we have had a slight pullback, which I did predict in Friday's video. So taking a look at Friday, which was the 29th of July, this candle here, I did tell you that we were forming a bearish divergence on the Bitcoin daily chart. We were also forming that on the 12-hour. So basically what we're looking at here is this blue line. We can see higher highs on the Bitcoin chart. And then if my chart wants to load, there we go. If we look at the RSI, we can see that we were getting momentum towards the downside. Only very slight momentum towards the downside, but still, that is momentum towards the downside. And that is a textbook bearish divergence. And I did tell you that the indicators were in that overextended region. So I was expecting a pullback, and that's exactly what we are seeing right now. It's not a massive pullback since I told you this. We've only seen about an almost 4% pullback, so nothing major. But for me, I do think that this pullback could still we could still see more of a pullback for Bitcoin, because looking at the indicators, they're still in that oversold region. That overbought region, that overextended region. So I do think we are going to see a little bit more of a pullback towards the downside. Where that will come to, I am sort of not aware of where it is going to come down to. But what I think the possibility could be is potentially back down to this support level here, where we did find nice support previously, and before that we used it as resistance, very, very strong resistance, getting rejected from that level quite a lot. But because we are above it, we're going to use it as support. We've used it as support before, perfect support. Hopefully we can come down, test it as support, bounce off it, maybe create another higher high. Looking at the 12-hour, we are coming into a support level. Looking at these two trend lines here, these two trend lines, these white trend lines here, they do form a channel. We did break to the upside of the channel here. Move that back. We did break to the upside of the channel here. Unfortunately, it was a fake out. We broke back down. We managed to get back above it again, but we are using it as support as of right now. So it'll be nice to see if we can hold this, or if we do break this. But again, like I told you on Friday, we were forming a bearish divergence on this 12-hour chart, like we were on the daily chart. As you can see, momentum towards the downside on the RSI. And if we have a look at the price action chart, we are seeing those higher highs. And exactly what I expected is playing out. That pullback is happening. Only a very small pullback as of right now, but there is more room towards the downside for the indicators. So for me, Ben, I do think there is a little bit more of a pullback. I don't know what you think.
No, I agree, and I'm going to quickly just share my screen now, because I think the main thing that most should we call them institutions are going to be looking at is what's going on this week. Not really too much happening that we need to concern ourselves with. Australia, New Zealand coming out with some their interest rate hikes, etc. Might affect some bond prices, but nothing really to bother us. The main issue, I should say, or main piece of news that's coming out is on Friday we do have the non-FUPA the non-farm payrolls. It comes out first Friday of every month. So obviously we're in a new month, August, and we are going to see these on Friday. So I think, even if you bring us back onto that, back onto the daily here,
Yeah.
just bring this up on the screen. So that's 5 days away. So we're going to have 5 more of these candles, which, to be honest, I think probably, does look kind of right. I think we could see a little bit more sell-off
Yeah.
pressure across this week. So that, I think, could probably bring us down
Yeah.
to that area of support, because there is going to be
Potentially
a lot of
between that
uncertainty.
$21,200, $21,600.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I mean, I don't know. It's would I short it? I'm not sure. I think we need to see how investors react today.
Yeah.
But a lot of them often sell their positions on Friday, go home, chill for the weekend, come back, and
Yeah.
usually start buying up on Mondays as a general trend. But obviously,
Yeah.
this week I think there will be a lot of hesitation, especially Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
because we have lots of data coming out that no one knows how it's going to react. So,
And coming into this data, we do tend to see the market sell off
oh yeah, yeah.
and de-risk. So that sort of confirms for me that we will see that. And yeah, talking about if we would short it now, personally for me, I'm still in a long position. I told you when I opened that long position, but I did counter trade myself on another exchange, and I did short when we got this red candle here. So I am in, only a very slight short, because I still do think in the longer run we are very bullish. So not the longer term, sorry, sort of like the shorter mid-term. I do think we are fairly bullish, and I will get onto that in a moment. But as of Friday, I did open a very small short position. But for me right now, it would be too late to sort of open up that short position because, I as of right now, because the indicators are coming down a little bit, it could, they could, decide to flip and push towards the upside. But again, they could also reset. So it would be nice to see them reset, maybe come down, test this, and then we have the next push to the upside. But what I am looking at and this is why I'm in a fairly big long position, because what I'm looking at is this chart here. We closed the weekly above that 200 weekly MA. I posted this on Twitter a few minutes ago. So if you don't follow us on Twitter, make sure you go ahead and follow us on Twitter. But basically, Bitcoin closed the weekly above the 200-week MA. The MACD is about to have a bullish cross. The stochastic is oversold. The RSI is oversold. And I said I think we'll be exploring the $28,000 level in the next few weeks. I do think that's a potential because, as I said in that tweet, we did close above that 200 MA. That is a bullish sign because previously, it's been major support. And we never actually, traded below that level for long at all, like we have here. So I did say, it was going to be a resistance, but now we are above it. I do think that is a very bullish sign. Looking at the MACD as well, the MACD is about to have a bullish cross. When we do have a bullish cross on the MACD, if I show you in history, so the last time we had a bullish cross on the MACD was back here, and that was back in August 2021. And we did have a massive rally towards the upside. If we go back a little bit further and look at the next time we had that bullish cross, that was all the way back in 2020, I would say. Yeah, April 2020. And after we got that bullish cross on the MACD, we had a massive parabolic run towards the upside. So because we are about to have this bullish cross on that MACD, for me, this is very bullish. This is why I'm scaling into a long position right now. I am already in that position. The average, my entry point, the average entry point is around 22,000, I think, around that level. But looking at the stochastic is also in that oversold vicinity. The RSI is also very oversold. But what I want to have a look at the stochastic is, if I move that to the top quick, what we can see is when we were in this oversold vicinity previously and we broke above the oversold, the extreme oversold vicinity, we did have a nice push for Bitcoin. Here we only had a slight push. But looking back further in history, when we've done that, we've had a parabolic run, to all-time highs. And, even before that, all the way back in sort of 2019, 2018, that was the last time before 2021 that we were down in this very oversold vicinity. And once we did get that cross sort of to the upside and break above that very oversold vicinity, we did have a nice big run to the upside. Then we had a pullback, and then we sort of came close to that very oversold vicinity, just above it. We didn't quite make it, but then again, the indicators flipped and we had that parabolic run towards the upside. So all of these are indicating to me, that we are ready for, maybe not another, maybe it's not going to be a parabolic run all the way up to all-time highs just as of yet. But for me, in sort of the shorter midterm, it does indicate to me that we could come up and test this $28,500 level approximately, this very important resistance level. Looking at this on the daily, this is a very, very important daily resistance level because we have used it as so much support previously. So sort of that's what I'm looking at in the shorter to midterm. In the next few weeks, I do think we could be testing this level, and that is why I'm scaling into that long position right now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And just like the kind of the same way we started off this video is that we are seeing institutions now begin to adopt it, and we have seen that Bitcoin miner capitulation kind of get to its, should we say, its worst. And yeah, I think having this close above this quite crucial level it's going to be very interesting to see how we pan out. Next couple of days, yes, I do think that we will have a bit of a pullback, or should we just say not a massive bull run because of that uncertainty. But I do think this kind of midterm, we're in August. We've been saying this for a couple of months now that there is going to be, or at least we think anyway, there will be a move towards the upside towards the end of the year, and I think we're kind of getting close to it. I really do think we're kind of getting close to it.
Yeah, I do think we are sort of coming to the end of this bearish stage, and maybe we have already come to the end of this bear market.
Really
We will
so.
see.
I really hope so.
The pi cycle bottom indicator has indicated that we are at the end of that bear market, but we will see. What for me, to sort of be confident and sort of have confirmation that we are out of that bear market, I would like to break above this resistance because it has been such major support. If we can get above that, use that as support, then I'll sort of be happy that we are out of that bear market. But there is still a possibility, we could come up to 28,000, have a dead cat bounce, and then, potentially go lower. But for me, I do think the bottom could have, been in at $17,500. Looking at these indicators and looking at all the other charts that I've showed you as well, it's looking very bullish at the moment, and especially if we do get this MACD cross, because as I've showed you in history, when we get this MACD cross, we have massive runs towards the upside. So hopefully we can get this bullish cross on the MACD in the next few weeks, and then hopefully we can see that parabolic run towards the upside.
That is what everyone hopes for, isn't it? That's exactly what everyone hopes for.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to bless our great, gorgeous viewers with?
I think that's everything for Bitcoin. Just go over quickly. We are having a slight pullback. I did anticipate this on Friday. As of right now, it's not a massive pullback, but I do think it could come back a little bit further. That's all I've sort of really got for you today. Ethereum. We can have a quick look at Ethereum. The same sort of happening. We aren't seeing that pullback. We did have that bearish divergence, momentum towards the downside on the RSI and higher highs on the price action chart, but we haven't actually seen that much of a pullback for Ethereum that I anticipated. Ethereum is actually holding up quite well, which I'm quite surprised about, and that might be because of this support level here. Major resistance on this 8-hour chart here, and obviously it is going to act as support, and you can see we came very close to testing this as support. As of right now, we are testing it as support, so maybe this is what's holding Ethereum up, but also the merge is also the merge news, I do think is sort of holding this price up as well.
It's on everyone's lips, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of all I've got for you. I know you wanted to move on to Rose, so we can have a look at that.
Yeah, that was just the final thing. It was just because I know that a couple of you guys have mentioned Rose previously in the chat here. So some of the comments have been about Rose. So I kind of looked into it. I did a full video about it, and then I actually bought some. I didn't buy very much. I think I bought like $600 or something like this worth of it. And so yeah, just kind of bought it. And then so one of the reasons why I was going to mention it earlier about Facebook is that Rose has actually secured, or at least their parent company, should we say, this is the native token of the Oasis protocol. They have a partnership with Meta, Facebook's parent company, which is actually this is where I think it's quite good. And when if you want to have a look, go through, have a look on the video, because I did go through how the team are pretty crazy. The woman, she's working with the CIA, I think it was, or the FBI, on blockchain security or something like this. I don't remember exactly what the use case was, but she's done 2 different bits of work for them. So this is up by 35%. Well, actually, it's been up by 100% in the past week. Is that right, AJ?
Yes, let me have a look. Just double check that. It was, since the 26th of July, we did see 104% increase.
There you go. Absolutely crazy, which is, and to be honest, I don't think that we would have discovered it had you guys not, asked us to do some analysis. So it's actually very, very, very interesting. And I'm, glad that you guys have done that. But yeah, so this is really is a token that I really like. Just to bring up coin market cap. And then I'll type in Rose, and it's from Oasis Labs. You'll see they are the second largest project in terms of VC funding. So if you guys want to find out more, go through the video that I did previously. Pretty in depth, goes through everything you kind of need to know. But yeah, so it's one of the top 2 invested blockchains by top VC firms, and has one of the fastest growing development networks in the industry. So several Fortune 500 partnerships in place, Crypto Safe Alliance, Binance, BMW. So yeah, really, really cool project that I quite like. And obviously there's a lot of people who are Rose fanboys, which is, I don't mind. If it does go to $1 soon, then, I'll be pretty happy. I'm probably going to load up a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, even if it does go to $1, that's 10x. Well, just over 10x. Let's say it's at, I know it's at 85, but let's say it goes to 0.1 cents. That's 10x for it to get to $1. So a little $500 investment, currently is what, 1,700 or 1,100, something like this. So yeah, so I quite like it. I think it's a cool project. But yeah,
and I do think it could get to $1 as well. Its all-time high is, I think, just under 0.6 cents. So 6 cents. So I do think a dollar is a pretty realistic target for it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and I truly believe that it's the teams, it's the projects that have a good team, a good vision, and kind of build things slowly. Those are going to be the ones that stick around. So right now, it's not getting much attention, But I think it will do in the future, and this is kind of what I see as like a should we say, a more credible and good, or I would say better version of Shiba Inu, for example. Strong community, but actually has some proper fundamentals behind it, without being rude to the Shiba Inu family. I know that there's a lot of fanboys out there. I'm not one of them, to be fair. But there you go.
Yeah, I like to
and also, so I've seen this comment, Narendra. So this has come up twice, to show the profit and loss. So what we do, we have a portfolio that we have 2 of them actually, one of $5,000, one of $500, that you guys can follow. We won't show our personal portfolios, unless, I don't know if you feel comfortable with that, AJ, but usually we keep the 2 things very, very separate. So with our trading portfolio, I think what we will do is maybe, because we have a few orders placed at, was it 17 and a half? I think we might have hit that, but we have one at 16 and a half and another one at 15 and a half. So I think what we will do is maybe cut those and then just kind of, maybe renew our strategy, because obviously we were kind of buying in on the way down.
Yeah,
But what we will do is we will maybe rejig it, and kind of make it a little bit more of an actively traded portfolio, as opposed to a little bit more of a passive one. Because
yeah.
this obviously is us taking a long-term view of getting into Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just to show, this is the $5,000 account which we did have, and then we did have this Bybits. It hasn't loaded. I don't know if I'll have to put the password in, so I won't show that. But we do have a $500 account there, and we do have the $5,000 account here. And as of right now, this is up $1,244. And as Ben said, we haven't hit that. We had 17,000 and 16,000. We had two buy orders there as well. I don't think they're going to get hit. I do think the potential bottom has been, placed. So yeah, as he said, I think we should rejig that, and we will, enter that. We will, put a buy order at a break of a potential resistance level, and even potentially do some leverage trades with that as well. So yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So if you guys want to follow us on that journey, make sure you click.
Yeah,
There's two links down below in the description. One for Femex, one for Bybit. Both are very well known, very well researched, and obviously we work with them very closely. So those two links you can join down below. Also, you can earn up to. Can't remember the actual how much it is that you could earn, but I believe you can earn
yeah.
up to, was it $1,000? I want to say
Up
more.
to up to 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can follow those links down below, and also that will obviously allow you to join us. And whenever we do a chart, you'll be notified when we're doing a particular trade. And so you can follow us as well, and we can join the journey together.
Yeah. Just to answer Esteban's question, I don't know if you mean TP on the long UR. AJ, where is your ST on the long UR? I don't know if you mean TP by that. Do you think that's what you mean?
Probably stop loss.
Stop. Oh, where is my stop? Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Stop loss. Where is my stop loss? Okay. Yeah, my stop loss is, so if I
You
just
better
bring
have
up my
one.
chart and I can show you. Yeah. No.
Unacceptable if you
So
don't have one.
I did tell you that my entry point was around 22,000, but to be exact, it is in this blue box here. So it's between 22. I don't know the exact entry point, but it was around 22,500 and 22,700, because I did, dollar cost average it. I did go long when we did get the break to the upside here, and then I dollar cost averaged it as we came down pretty heavily. So as of right now, it's in a nice little profit, but I am going to have that stop loss at 10% underneath my entry point. So that stop loss is sat around $20,000. But for me, this is only with my trading portfolio, so it's only a very small percentage of my portfolio. If I do lose that 10%, for me, it's not a big issue. So just make sure you've got your proper risk management in play. But yeah, 10% of my trading portfolio will be lost if it hits that stop loss. But I do think this is going to be a pretty good trade. But I am going to sort of dollar cost average that position down, and as I dollar cost average that position down, my stop loss will also move down with that as well. So yeah, just be aware of that. If it does come down, my stop loss is gonna move down. And yeah, that's sort of what my trade is looking at the moment. I'm still in that long. Short term, I have opened up a little sort of controversial trade. I have opened a little short position on another exchange, just to trade on the shorter time frames, because
That is called hedging, my
yeah.
friends. That is literally the definition of hedging. It's crazy because like loads of institutionals do it all the time, but
Yeah.
when you say it out loud, everyone's like, "Wait, what? You're betting
Yeah,
against yourself."
yeah. Look, I'm hoping to keep this trade open, this long trade open for a pretty long time. I've told you I do expect the price to come up to where is it? Around $28,500. So I'll be trying to, hold that position up to that point, because I do think in the next coming weeks that is something that is very, a very realistic target for us. That's where I'm looking to sort of take profit on this trade. But in the shorter term, I do think we're going to have a bit of a pullback. We are having that pullback, and where that comes down to could be sort of around that $21,500 level, where the indicators can reset, and then we can see more movement towards the upside. But yeah, that's sort of where my trades are at this moment in time.
There you go. All right, well, guys, thank you for joining as always, and we will see you tomorrow, bright and early. Hopefully, there'll be more that's going on in the crypto market. I know it's like hasn't really been much going on
No,
at all,
nothing
just a lot of
exciting.
sideways trading and little volatility, unfortunately.
Yeah, how much downside have we had? 3.5%. So
yeah, it's nothing to write home about, is it?
No, not at all.
All right. Well, anyway, take care, guys. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.